Why are you so weak in training? Why are you so indecisive? Why is your face full of pimples? And besides, you're a man. The answer is testosterone. The hero of our today's story. Here are a few ways to increase it completely naturally without any chemical. Strength training. Strength training is one of the best ways to increase your testosterone. Whenever you go to the gym and start doing exercises like deadlifts, squats, bench presses, or something similar, a huge number of muscle fibers in the body start to activate, which greatly stimulates the huge release of the testosterone hormone, but also the extraction of strength. So you also need strength for this method of raising testosterone. If you've ever wondered how the Spartans or any other wooden Greek warriors were so powerful and strong, the answer is testosterone and their testosterone boosting habits. I believe that many of you do not have the opportunity to go to the gym regularly, but even that can be replaced by active training on the bars with a street workout, in which you will do push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats, and sit-ups. Trust me, it's enough to hit almost your entire body. If a muscle is lagging behind you, like your shoulder, you can lift stones or some heavy object that you find in your house. Regular dream. Regular sleep is also extremely important for your hormones. If you do not sleep at least 6 to 8 hours a day, it can lead to an imbalance in the body. Even if you sleep for 10 hours, but it is during the day, it will not affect the secretion of melatonin, the sleep hormone. If there is not enough of that hormone, other hormones in the body will automatically fall behind, especially testosterone, which is extremely important to us men. Based on this, we can easily connect sleep and strength training. If you don't sleep enough, you won't be able to build enough muscles and strength. That is, they won't have time to recover. And besides, if you're tired, you won't be able to do your training properly. That is why it is best to go to bed between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. and sleep at least 7 hours for healthy hormone functioning. Even if you don't sleep, your metabolism will slow down a lot, which can later lead to obesity. And if you're watching this video, I assume you don't want that. Avoiding skincare. Avoiding skincare can help a lot. If you are the type of man who worries so much about acne on the face, the way to solve it is healthy habits, like cutting out simple sugar and the like, not skin cream. Bad habits and hormonal imbalance are one of the reasons why acne occurs. But don't get me wrong, it's not the only reason. Some have pubertal acne, and some can't fight it genetically. But if you can, try to avoid any form of skincare like cream, because once that cream gets into the subcutaneous tissue, it can activate estrogen in the body, that is, the female hormone. Once the amount of that hormone starts to increase, testosterone automatically drops. Of course, it does not mean that if your face is full of wrinkles and you apply cream once a week, your testosterone will drop. Just try to avoid this type of skincare as much as possible. It is better to wash with water every morning. Healthy food. Healthy food is a very important factor for our hormones. Let's go back to the ancient Greeks and Spartans. What did they eat at that time? The answer is mostly meat that they caught and some fruits or vegetables if they find them during the day. It is very important to avoid thermally processed foods, such as refined sugar and trans fats, because they also stimulate the secretion of estrogen in the body. There are also foods such as soy, which have molecules that can even mimic estrogen in the body. The main things you should avoid from food if you want high testosterone are seed oils. Generally avoid oils. Use more fats. But if you have to use oils, let them be olive or coconut, then avoid mint tea in a bag. Believe it or not, they also affect testosterone. Then avoid the already mentioned soy. Also avoid beer. Beer can also lower testosterone in the body and increase the beer belly. So the next time someone tells you that you're not a man if you don't drink, remember that you're more manly than him by not drinking beer. And finally, avoid foods that are fried in fat, like burgers, fries, and the like, and processed sugar. Of course, don't stress so much about it. If you sometimes feel like eating that food, it's perfectly fine to eat it, but don't overdo it. Vitamin D. Vitamin D is another very important factor that affects the synthesis of testosterone in the blood. If you lack this vitamin, not only will you be weak and your bones will be loose and brittle, but you will look like a vampire, weak with a pale complexion. Vitamin D is very important and is found in fruit, vegetables, dairy products. But the most important thing, and the thing you should pay attention to the most, is the sun. That is, exposure to the sun can greatly increase your vitamin D, and thus your testosterone. So, if the weather is nice, spring or summer, and you don't have sensitive skin, make sure you remember about such weather so that you can be exposed to the sun as much as possible and get vitamin D. Of course, if the sun is too strong, don't overdo it and fry your skin, but also don't crawl into your room during the summer days and sleep all day and only go out for a beer with friends at night. Because as we said, both can affect your testosterone a lot. Avoid the comfort zone. Yes, avoiding the comfort zone can also increase your testosterone level in the blood a lot. How? So have you ever wondered how men are always more courageous than women in some situations? Testosterone is a hormone that can also affect your courage. If you wake up early in the morning and you don't want to go down and you're used to making coffee and watching YouTube, try to get out of that comfort zone and instead go for a morning jog or just a walk. If it's dark and you're afraid to go somewhere alone, don't act like a little girl, but gather up your noose and go and do it. If you need to talk to a girl, don't be afraid. Or even worse, wait for her to approach you, Suet. You are a man. The very determination, courage, and doing things that you don't want to do at a given moment greatly affect the increase of the male sex hormone, that is, testosterone. To summarize, finally, all these habits do not mean that you should forget forever and erase them from your life. If you sometimes eat French fries or some sweet chocolate, feel free to eat them in moderation, or if you do not have time for 8 hours of sleep and you sleep for 5 hours that night, it is completely fine if you do it once or twice. But if all these bad habits become part of your everyday life, you can drastically destroy not only your testosterone, but also the health of your entire body.